Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I'm delighted to welcome you again to Defense Headquarters for updates on the operational activities of the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Though you may not have heard from us in the past few months in terms of operational efforts of the military and other security agencies, I must state that a lot have been going on in the various theaters across the country. Recall that the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs have conducted several operational visits to the theaters of operations across the country. They've been interacting with commanders, troops, and other stakeholders in the various theaters. Also, a security summit was held in March 2021 at the National Defense College here in Abuja, with relevant stakeholders in attendance. In accordance with the theme of the summit, it was aimed at promoting understanding, collaboration of stakeholders and key players on the kinetic approach that is expected to facilitate public support for the kinetic action in counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations in Nigeria. Furthermore, the Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs also visited the 6 geopolitical zones and had consultations with government officials, traditional rulers, and religious and various interest groups for the purpose of sensitization on the current security challenges facing the country. These engagements were aimed at ensuring that the Military High Command comes up with improved ways and means of tackling the myriad of security challenges across the country in partnership with other stakeholders. In the same vein, on 5th May 2021, the Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs had interaction with senior media executives in open ears press dialogue. As you are aware, some topical security issues were enumerated and discussed extensively during the interaction with the Chief of Defense Staff and Service Chiefs. Sequel to that, we are now resuming our usual updates on the unrelenting and committed efforts of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies in tackling security challenges facing our dear nation. Today's update, gentlemen and ladies, will cover the combined operational efforts of the land, maritime, and air components across the country between 1st and 20th May 2021. These operational efforts of the Nigerian military are intended to achieve sustainable peace, to ensure that normalcy returns to all troubled zones of our dear country. Within the period under focus, troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria remain resolute in their operations and engaged in a series of kinetic and non-kinetic operations in all the theaters of major and subsidiary operations. We have also worked cooperatively and in great synergy with other security and intelligence agencies to gain several successful and credible outcomes in our operations. For our land operations, our gallant troops have been actively engaged in constant clearance patrols, ambush, raid, picketing, cordon and search operations, as well as heavy bombardments. In the maritime environment, our troops conducted various operations involving anti-piracy, anti-illegal oil bunkering, anti-crude oil theft, anti-pipeline vandalism, and anti-smuggling operations. More so, the air component conducted comprehensive air operations, which included air patrols, intelligence surveillance and recognizer missions, offensive air strikes and interdictions, search and rescue operations, as well as close air supports for the ground troops. As a result of these operations, our troops neutralized scores of terrorists and bandits, including senior Boko Haram and Islamic State of West African Province terrorists, and the Eastern Security Network commanders, as well as major bandit leaders. Similarly, many of their fighters were incapacitated and their camps destroyed through artillery and air bombardment. Also, troops rescued several kidnapped victims and arrested bandits and kidnappers, informants, and collaborators in different parts of the country. Our operations also inhibited activities of economic saboteurs, as well as exposed and forestalled other criminal activities. Troops also recovered several large caches of arms and ammunition, as well as equipment, vehicles, and livestock within the period. In the maritime domain, our troops disrupted smuggling activities, immobilized illegal oil refining sites, arrested some perpetrators, seized illegally imported rice and other contraband goods, as well as recovered some petroleum products. Although within this period also, some of our personnel paid the supreme price in the course of these operations. Our dogged troops consistently demonstrated gallantry and resilience. You are also aware that the Military High Command has renamed the ongoing counterinsurgency operation in the Northeast from Operation Lafia Dole to Operation Hadinkai. This was done to reflect the renewed spirit of jointness in the Northeast operational environment. The combined efforts of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies demonstrate our commitment, synergy, and determination to lay down our lives to protect our great nation. We will continue to sustain the offensive posture and will not relent until peace is restored to every troubled zone in Nigeria. The general public is also assured of our commitment to protect our economic assets anywhere. As you may also know, security is everybody's concern. Thus, we encourage every well-meaning Nigerian to support the efforts of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and other security agencies by providing credible and timely information that will facilitate proactive engagement to address these threats. The plans and efforts of the criminal elements to perpetrate nefarious activities so as to discredit the government and efforts of the security forces will in no way deter us from sustaining the tempo of our operations. The High Command of the Nigerian military therefore wishes to thank the general public for their support and further solicit their cooperation in fighting against criminality in the country. The Military High Command also commends all the gallant troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria and personnel of other security agencies involved in various operations across the country for their resilience, doggedness, and commitment. Once again, for you, our dear friends of the press, we want to thank you for your immense contribution and your continued understanding and support for the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, for coming for this press briefing.